let's talk about communicating with our loved one who has Alzheimer's or dementia. Because anyone who is a caregiver, family member, friend of someone who has this disease, you understand, if you've seen the progression of it, that communication changes, right? That's pretty obvious. The way that your loved one communicates to you, the way that you communicate to them, the way that you communicate to each other, like it's a complete learning curve. And it feels like you wish that you had like a Rosetta Stone for Alzheimer's or dementia that you could just be like, okay, this is what they want. This is what they need. This is how I need to tell them to drink water. But we don't have that. It just takes time, being willing to like navigate the ebbs and flows of being patient and also being aggravated, being patient and also feeling impatient, to be able to learn the rhythms, the tones, the glances, the body language of your loved one. Because as time goes on, you'll have to learn a new way of figuring out what they mean, what they want, how they're feeling, that goes beyond their words, because their words will fail them eventually. It just is what it is. And their ability to understand you with your words will also begin to fail them. So, with my mom personally, I'm starving, y'all. With my mom personally, communication was one of the biggest things that I resisted the change of for a long time. For a long time, I would try my hardest to get her to communicate like normal, to get her to communicate in a way that honestly made me feel more comfortable and made me feel like maybe she doesn't have Alzheimer's. Maybe she's the one that will, overcome this. I think a lot of us caregivers go through that. We're resistant because we don't want to believe that our loved one has this and that life is changed forever, right? But as my mom's disease progressed, and we're now at the point where if she strings like a coherent sentence together, it is like an anomaly, and it surprises you. And she might like say certain like words maybe that feel applicable to a response or a conversation that we're having. But honestly, a lot of times it kind of feels like it's a mix of maybe like, oh, that's one of those times to where she knew what we were talking about, but then also sometimes I think that it's just like a coincidence, to be completely honest. But I have had to learn how to meet my mom's incoherence with incoherence so that she can feel like she is still a part of communication and a part of community. So my mom will string a whole bunch of sentences together that do not make sense at all. Maybe we come outside and it's hot out and she's like, the hair and the flower said no, and today is my mom. And I mean, you don't know, girl, what? I don't know what you just said. And I think a lot of people who maybe they don't have the gift of creativity, because not everyone does. Maybe they are still resistant to the change in their loved one. Maybe they're just a really type A personality, and so anything that feels a little chaotic throws them off. There's a lot of reasons why we as caregivers can respond the way that we do, but a lot of times, caregivers and loved ones and friends of someone with dementia, when they string incoherent sentences together, they either respond like, I have no idea what you just said, or they're just like, ignore them, or they get agitated. That doesn't make any sense. I don't get what you're saying. And these are I'm not shaming anyone by saying these responses. I'm just acknowledging the diversity in responses based on personality, experiences, where they are in their grief process of their loved one with dementia. And these are some of the responses that can kind of just come out when communication is strained. And I've had those responses as well. But now, as time has gone on, and also as I've begun to heal a little bit on this journey, and of course it ebbs and flows, instead of responding with impatience with, I don't know what you're talking about, you're not making sense, or just ignoring her, I just meet her incoherence with incoherence. I'll be like, the elephant be walking around, and did you see her ball? It was big. And my mom will be like, yep. And the flowers, books over there, and yep. And I'll be like, that's what I was thinking too. And then she'll be like, And you know what? I have found the fun in it. Would I rather have a coherent conversation with my mother? Absolutely. Does it still make me sad that I can't just have a normal conversation with my mother? Absolutely. Are there times when I cry myself to sleep because I miss talking to my mom about my day or how I'm feeling? Absolutely. But this is the way I live. And so I meet her incoherence with incoherence. And the thing about someone with an Alzheimer's brain is that they don't hear you and hear incoherence. They just know you're talking to them, and so they'll respond. And really, that's the most important thing, in my opinion, is keeping them talking, whether it makes sense or not, keeping them using their language, whether it makes sense or not, making sure that they have someone that they're talking to, practicing community and relationship, and making sure that they don't feel like no one cares. Honestly, they're still human beings having a human experience. They still have something that they want to give to people in the world, things that they want to do and enjoy and what have you, and it's different, but they're still here. So don't, as hard as it is, as hard as it can be, and as much practice as it will take, don't allow the scrambling of communication that happens with your loved one due to this disease be the thing that keeps y'all from having community and having relationship and having communication, because communication will still be there. It may sound different, it will sound different, it will not always make sense, but you will see the difference within your loved one and within yourself when you just meet them. And this is coming from someone who it took a long time for me to understand the importance of meeting them where they're at, and how doing that wasn't just for their benefit, but it was also for mine. So that's it. I love y'all. I'm thinking of y'all and praying for you. This is really, really hard, and it's a constant learning curve. And if you feel like you're floundering right now, that's normal. You'll feel ebbs and flows of floundering on this journey, but you'll also feel ebbs and flows of feeling like, I'm learning, I'm growing. I did that better today than I did yesterday, and that's what's most important, is to celebrate those. And when you have a day where you flop, pick it up in the next moment, because remember, your loved one doesn't remember your mistakes anyway.